Hello, good morning everyone. Very warm welcome to babycode free Ielts classes. I'm Tanu Vermani, an IDP certified trainer and a TEFL TESOL certified trainer. So as you know that I'm back with my writing module and the classes for the writing module, all the live sessions. So let's start with our live session number 6 today. Those who are new to watch this session, please go back and watch session 1 to 5. So let's start with our session. Aaj we are going to discuss about what are those 8 steps which can provide you band 8 in the writing task 2. How you have to plan your writing task 2 so that you can have band 8, right? These are the very important crucial 8 steps which will lead you towards a band 8 in writing task 2. So be careful when you are looking at this session, understand this session deeply, and then plan your essay accordingly. So, what are those 8 steps for the writing task 2? Now you know that in writing task 2, you have to write an essay. So, I'll make you go through those 8 steps that can help you to achieve band 8. We'll have a closer look at the assessment criteria, that means the marking criteria, how to structure your essay, and what mistakes you need to avoid. What are the do's and don'ts basically for all those steps, right? Now, if you want to score band 8, you need to produce an essay that contains all the positive features which are there in the band 8 writing marking criteria, right? You have to look at the marking criteria, the band descriptors, which shows that what band 8 positive features are. Okay, so let's look at those. Now you know that these are the 4 marking criteria: task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy. Now band 8 says, when it comes to band 8 of writing task 2, task response in band 8 says that you have sufficiently addresses all parts of the task. Then next is you presents a well-developed response to the question with relevant, extended and supportive ideas. So for getting band 8 in the task response, you need to sufficiently address all parts of your question. Once you address them, you have to develop the response, a well-developed response, which is relevant also, and you have extended, expanded answer also, and you include your supporting ideas also, right? Second is coherence and cohesion. Coherence and cohesion sequence information and ideas logically. You have to, in like whenever you are adding your information, that has to be in sequence and that has to be logically arranged. Manages all aspects of cohesion well. That means if you are linking your connectors, your words, that has to be cohesion well. Use paragraphing sufficiently and appropriately. You have to make paraphrasing and you have to make the paragraphs also sufficient and appropriate. If it is required 4 paragraphs, you have to write 4. If it requires 5, you have to write 5 paras. Okay. Lexical resources. Lexical resources include, you know, that you have to focus on your wide range of vocabulary. So use wide range of vocabulary fluently and flexible also with the correct meaning. Skillfully use common, uncommon lexical items. There can be some occasional inaccuracies in word choice and collocation, but yes, you should focus on the uncommon lexical items. Produce rare errors in spelling and in the word formation. Minor errors can be avoided, like examiner can avoid your minor errors, but not the major. Like if you're doing it repeatedly, then yes, you will lose in your band scores. Next is Grammatical range and accuracy. Grammatical range and accuracy means that you are going to focus on your grammar part, right? Using a wide range of structure, majority of sentences should be error free here, makes only occasional errors and inappropriacy, right? So make sure you read all those four marking criteria for the band 8. Now, using the band descriptors as a guide, I'm going to make you through 8 steps on your way to band 8 in the writing task 2, right? So we will start with task response before moving through the criteria, so that what an examiner will be looking for in your response, right? What basically examiner looks in your writing part. Let's have a look at that. Now, first step. There are total 8 steps. What is the first step to score band 8? Step 1 is answer is relevant to the question. Now, whatever is asked in the question, you are supposed to write a relevant answer to that, right? Do not produce do not produce an essay that is close to topic you have previously prepared, right? Make sure your examples and ideas are relevant. Do not go off the topic. Just read your question very carefully and answer it according to that. If you generalize too much and are not specific enough, this will affect your ideas, right? Which are presented to the examiner. So make sure you write relevant. Now, what are the do's? Make sure your ideas are directly related to the question part, right? Use ideas and examples that you are familiar with and relate directly to the topic. Next is you should extend your answer to include a number of ideas that supports your question also. Do not write anything irrelevant here, right? What are the don'ts for this task is that don't include irrelevant information. Don't overgeneralize. Like sometimes we write general statements, but do not do overgeneralize. Do not produce a memorized essay. Sometimes students they learn certain statements, 2 or 3 statements, and then they start writing those statements in their essay topic. No, you need not to write any kind of a memorized essay, any memorized statement, right? Because if you write any kind of a memorized statement, then examiner will spot that statement very quickly. They are the examiners, right? They know you well. They know they are actually checking and evaluating, I believe, thousands of this essay topic every day. So they know you, right? They know what you have to write, what is there on each and every website, I would say, right? Present recent, don't present any recent, like recent research or statistics related to the topic. For example, at least 40% of all at least 40% of all men. So you should not write. Next is answer all parts of the question. First was, now you have seen that first step was answer is relevant to the question, right? Second is answer all parts of the question. Now, the number of questions which are asked in your question, number of questions which are asked there, you have to answer all that, right? You must read the question carefully and decide how many parts are there. Sometime a question contain 2 parts, sometime question contain 3 parts. So you have to answer all those parts of the question. You must answer all parts of the question to reach band 6 or high, because if you look at the band descriptor, the marking criteria, band 6, it says that yes, you have addressed. But when you move to band 7 and 8, then you will find that band 8 says sufficiently addresses all parts of the question, right? So if you need to score 6 or high, you have to answer all parts of the question. Okay. Now let's look at some of the IELTS question prompts, and you will see that how many parts are in each. If you need to present your opinion, remember it is very important to present a clear position when you are answering the statement and to show that you understand that question being asked and to keep that position clear throughout the complete essay. Okay, now the question type is, to what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? If this is your question and the question says, to what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? How many parts are there in the question? You can see that there is only one part. They are asking you whether you agree or you disagree, right? Now, opinion required? Yes, because they are asking you whether you agree or disagree. Okay, you have to decide that why you agree or disagree equally if you are having a partial agreement, right? Second question says, discuss both views and give your opinion. Now, this type of task has three parts: first view, second view, and the opinion. So, there are three parts which you need to describe. Yes, you have to present your opinion. It may be one of the next question is, why is this so? Give reasons for this and solution. Now, again, this question has three parts. Why is this so is the first one. Give reason is the second one. And solution is the third one. So again, there are three parts of the question. A position is presented on why is this so. So you will be writing first for that. Then you will be writing the reasons for this problem, this issue, and then solutions to solve this issue. So again, you will answer three parts of the question, right? Next is, do the advantages of international tourism outweigh the disadvantages? So they are asking you that the advantages are more or the disadvantages are more. So you need to answer two-part question here. You must clearly state that you believe advantages are more or disadvantages are more. Now, first part is you have to answer about advantages. Second part is you have to answer about disadvantages, right? Next question, why is this so? What effect does it have on the individual and society? So you can see here is, why is this so? This is first. Effect on individual is the second one, and effect on society is the third one. So you need to answer three parts of the question. You must give reasons for the statement that why is this so. Second is you have to talk about effects on individual, and third is you have to talk about society, right? Now, what are the do's and don'ts? Do's. You should read the question carefully and decide how many parts are there. Once you read your question, it is very clear by reading that how many parts are there and what parts you need to answer. Present your opinion, describe about your opinion, and support your opinion throughout the whole essay by your viewpoints. If asked to present both views, make sure each view is presented equally. Watch for, yes. Now, next is that watch for plurals. Watch for, you need to comment more than one. Now, watch for plurals that they ask you to give advantages. You must present minimum two because it is mentioned advantages, right? So, you have to write in number here. Write more than 250 words. Do not write less than 250. What are the don'ts? Don't ignore the parts of the question. If they ask the parts of the question are three, you are supposed to answer all three. If you answer only two and you did not answer the third part, then your task response will be less, right? So assume that you don't assume that your opinion is clear. Use the first person to ensure that examiner know it's your opinion. I think when you write with the first person, examiner knows what you are writing. Don't tell the examiner what you're going to say, what you have said, right? Don't produce a short essay. Third step, you have to organize your essay logically with clear progression using linking phrases as it comprises of coherence and cohesion. Ideas which you are expressing, it has to be expressed clearly, described clearly. Start with an introduction paragraph, move on through, and ends up with a conclusion paragraph, right? A concluding statements. If you are asked to present both views, now suppose if your example, if your question is that you have to present both views and your opinion, state your opinion at the beginning of the essay and then move on to present both. You can then come back to your own opinion and then you can conclude the essay in the end. Now, this is a logical way where you can present your ideas, right? So, always plan your essay like this. Now, what are the do's and don'ts? Do use a range of linking words, connectors, cohesive devices, phrases, but do not overuse them. Use phrases rather than basic linkers. Use referencing and substitution so that you can avoid any kind of repetition. Use punctuations also to make your writing very coherent. Make sure that your ideas are sequenced correctly. Make sure your ideas are logical and easy to follow. Use separate paragraph for introduction and the conclusion. Use one paragraph for each idea or the topic idea. So first is introduction, second is body para 1 for your first idea, second, third paragraph is again a paragraph for the next idea and then ends up. Now, what are the don'ts? Don't overuse basic linking words like firstly, secondly. Instead, try using the first reason for dash, whatever your topic is. The primary reason for this is, right? Don't start every sentence with a linker. Try to put it in the middle of a sentence. Some people believe, however, that individuals also take responsibility to start. So don't start sentence with a linker only, right? Don't use numbers, symbols, and abbreviations. Don't use headings or any subheadings. Don't underline words or phrases. Don't use one sentence paragraph. Don't start every sentence with a linking device. Okay. So remember what are the do's and don'ts. Please, if you really want to score band 8 or higher, you need to follow these 8 steps. Step number 4, organize your essay into paragraphs. Now use paragraph to organize your essay so that it will be in the clear path. Make sure that each paragraph contains clear and developed topic with a minimum of 2 sentences. Now you can use this acronym PEEL whenever you're writing your essay, because what PEEL mean is P. P stands for point, where you introduce your topic and your topic sentence once you start making a paragraph. Example. E stands for an example that supports your point. Next, E stands for explain why this evidence supports your point. That means an explanation for that. And L stands for link. That means a transition to the next topic or the paragraph. So this thing is most important, that you focus and you organize your essay into paragraphs with these 4 things. Okay, you must use enough paragraphs to clearly show that you are having a structured response, and this will show that you can organize and present your thoughts logically, right? Now, here are some ideas on how many paragraphs you could include in an essay. Because sometimes students ask, ma'am, do we need to write 2 paras or 3 paras or 5 paras for this? So how can you write number of paragraphs? Please look here. Question says, to what extent do you agree or disagree with the statement? Now, to what extent they are asking. So sometimes we are 80% getting agree, but 20% we disagree with the statement. Or we can say that 80% we are disagree, but 20% we agree with the statement. That is called extent, right? So you may write 4 to 5 paragraphs. First is your introduction. Second is why you agree or why you disagree. Third is another reason you will write, because you need to have 2 reasons at least. Third is another reason why you agree or why you disagree. Fourth one is concession paragraph, that why you don't disagree or disagree, right? So that means that 20% you can write. Fifth one is your conclusion paragraph. Okay. So you need to write at least 4 to 5 paragraphs here. Next question type, discuss both views and give your opinion. So again, you have to discuss both views, you have to provide your opinion. So first is introduction, second is one view, third is other view, fourth one is your opinion, and fifth one is your conclusion. So for discussing both views, you always have to write 5 paras. Next is, why is this so? Give reasons for this and solution. Now, why is this so? See the parts here. First, give reasons. Second, and third is solution. So 3 parts you have to include here. Introduction, then reasons, then again reasons, then solution, and then the conclusion. So ultimately 5 paras. Next is, do advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So introduction, you have to explain if you believe more advantages are there. Second para, advantages, you are going to write 3 advantage. Third one is disadvantage, you will write at least 2 disadvantage, and the fourth one will be conclusion, right? Next question, why is this so? What effect does it have on the individual and the society? So again, there are 3 parts. First will be introduction, second will be why is this so? Third will be effects on individual, fourth will be effects on society, and the fifth one will be conclusion. So you are supposed to write 5 paras. Now, what are the do's and don'ts? Do use paragraphs, do use linkers between and within your paras also. Do leave a space between each paragraph, like a line. Do use a paragraph for each topic. Do use an introduction and a conclusion in your essay. Don't use single sentence paragraph. There is no single sentence called as paragraph. Don't use very long paragraphs that covers the whole page on your IELTS exam paper, right? Now we discuss about 4 steps. Now the 5th one, vocabulary. It comes under lexical resources. Use less common vocabulary and spell it correctly. You know that lexical resources demand from you the uncommon vocabulary which you have to write. And you will see also in the band descriptors that band 8 writer skillfully uses uncommon lexical items. That means uncommon vocabulary you have to use. When we also learn a language, we use common and uncommon terms. Common terms are those words and phrases which we use every day to refer to personal experiences and the daily habits, whereas uncommon terms are used when we discuss specific topics or when we use idiomatic language. That means the phrasal verbs. Words that are old fashioned and are not used in everyday speech should not be used. If you choose a synonym, the meaning must be same and must not alter the idea being presented. So whenever you're using any kind of synonym, make sure that meaning is exactly the same. It should not change the context of your statement. For example, if we look at the word adolescent, adolescent and teenager, they have a close meaning and they can be used interchangeably. But however, toddler and baby, they have quite different meanings. So you cannot switch them, right? You cannot use them at the same place. Collocation is also there in the band 8, and it is assumed that you know which words go together and which words are suitable to use for different topics. So please use them. I'm going to come up with this session also for collocations so that you will understand, but later on. Now, suppose if you are discussing about child crime, you can use the term minor, as this is a legal term which is used to describe the children under the age of 18, right? And if you use phrasal verbs, make sure you are using the correct preposition as it can change the meaning. For example, throw out, throw away, discard, throw up, vomit, or get sick. Idioms means the cultural language. I have already created a complete session on idioms and speaking module. You can go back and check that session. They should be used only if you use them or understand them correctly and if they fit in the topic you are discussing. So only use them once you understand them, the meaning and the right context, right? What are the do's? Do use precise word choices, the accurate choices. Do use language that we use in everyday speech. Do use words that you understand. Do use words and phrases that are related to the topic. Do use collocations and phrasal verbs, words that go together naturally and environmental. For example, the environmental pollution, the major issue, promising future. So focus on collocations as well as on the phrasal verbs, right? Next one, what are the tones for this? Don't make any spelling mistakes, make any typos. Don't mix up the American or the British spelling. Don't use a word if you don't understand it or cannot spell it. Don't use imprecise words. Don't use any kind of a slangs like gonna. Don't use old fashioned words, myopic view, or any kind of the masses, the denizens, right? Don't overuse any synonyms. One is enough. Don't use idioms here. Don't use contractions here, right? Because writing is formal. Sixth step, don't use memorized language, phrases, or example. If you're going to write any kind of memorized statement, phrases, examiner will spot that statement very quickly. So don't use any memorized language, any kind of an example throughout your complete essay. They are easy for examiner to spot, and don't demonstrate your ability to write fluently, because it shows that you have learned something and then you are memorizing and then writing it. Overused phrases, idioms, proverb should be avoided. Again, they are often used when speaking. These include phrases like, suppose you are not not going to use these phrases like the grass is always greener on the another side, love is blind, off the top of my head, old is gold. A friend in need is a friend in need. So don't use these kind of phrases or any examples like these. Additionally, what you can focus is the following terms should not be used when writing as they are vague and do not address a task completely. You should always be clear language and make appropriate choices that will express your words, your ideas clearly. Now, see, bad. Nowadays, in recent times, can't, cannot, controversial issue, major issue, pros and cons, benefits and drawbacks. Firstly, the primary reason. Secondly, lack of education. Crux of the decision, discussion, the main key or the issue is stuff or thing, use the correct word. E.g. stand for example, so write for example. Every coin has two sides or faces. There are both advantages or disadvantage. A double-edged sword, the solution can also issue as in a nutshell, in conclusion, right? Step 7. Now use a variety of complex sentence structure. It comes under grammatical range and accuracy. At band 8, it is expected that you should use wide range of sentence structure accurately also so that you can present your ideas and opinion. Please show the examiner that you can use a wide range of structure and make sure your sentences are error free. You're not going to make any error there. It is also important that you should mix complex as well as simple sentences, but make sure that your complex sentences should not be long and should not be complicated also. Okay. Your punctuation needs to be correct. You need to have capitalization, commas, and full stops has to be correct. Okay. The most common errors made can be found below. Now you can see the errors, the grammar errors, right? Clause error when you are writing the pronouns incorrectly. Conditional error, wrong tenses when you are using the wrong tense, had or have had, like past perfect or past, using the active passive wrongly, using the grounds wrongly like ing, making error with singular or plural like countable nouns, articles also using incorrectly or not using the articles at all, subject verb agreement, preposition, incorrect preposition of place, and so on. Punctuation using incorrectly or not using at all. So these are the most errors where you can found these are the most common errors found in the writing sample answers by the students. Step number 8, checklist. Now this is again important part. Use the following checklist to make sure that your writing contains all the positive features of Band-Aid. Once you complete your writing task 2, you're done with this, check your task response. Task response means that did you answer all parts of the question sufficiently? Are your all ideas and support directly relevant to the question? Did you avoid overgeneralizing the topic? Does the examiner know exactly what you think? Do you present this proposition clearly? Did you support ideas with example? Did you write over 250 words? So for getting band 8, you need to check all those questions. Next is coherence and cohesion. For coherence and cohesion, you can check that can the examiner follow your ideas from beginning to the end? Does it progress clearly like introduction, main ideas, and the conclusion? Did you use linking words and phrases? Did you avoid repetition in starting sentences? Did you use referencing? Did you use sufficient paras also? Did you use one para for each idea? Is there any clear introductory or concluding paragraph? So just check all these, right? Lexical resources. For lexical resources, did you use range of vocabulary, topic specific? Did you precise vocabulary choices? Did you avoid any kind of memorized language? You use the collocation correctly, appropriate uncommon words, correct spellings, check for typos. Did you use correct form of word, right? So you have to check all these things in your lexical resources. Then last one is your grammatical range and accuracy. Did you use complex structures or simple structure accurately? Did you use a range of structures? Did you avoid any long or complicated sentences? Are your sentences error free? Did you punctuate correctly? Did you capitalize letters to start sentences and for proper nouns also? Did you use commas in your complex sentences where needed? Did you use full stops to finish sentences? So please check all those 8 steps if you really want to achieve band 8 in your IELTS task, right? And if you follow these 8 steps, you will be well on your way so that you can have band 8, right? IELTS writing is not so hard if you understand the format and you are able to organize your thoughts, grammatically correct, structure is correct, but it can be done once you have a fair amount of practice. So make sure you use our baby code application where we provide you material, practice test, the sample answer, the live code applications, right? So please make a use of it and start practicing from the baby code application. There are lots of sample answers available. Start writing your own answer. Very soon we'll be giving you something more so that you can submit answers also, right? Now you can check out the live session on the YouTube and on the baby code application. Drop your comments so I can know that yes, you're watching this session and you're happy with the session and you understand it well. Any doubts, any query, you can just type. I'll be reporting it back very soon. Okay, so thank you so much for watching our live session 6. Who are new to this channel, please go back and watch all those 5 sessions and stay tuned with me for the upcoming session. Bye bye, all of you. Take care.